Okay, we are finally back after watching the first video. I described to y'all how I was going to build this bike basically from scratch. Purchased this frame right here, 2009 Cervelo RS Carbon, and I really wanted to tear it down to the bare grit, which took a lot of time. I even used this razor to try to remove the decals off, which was probably not a great idea. Alright, let me just tell you, this is a very, very tedious process, and you absolutely do not want to get rid of the carbon on the bike. So we're doing our best here, but this is going to take a long ass time, but it's alright, I'm here for it. Alright, day 2, this is where we're at. Finally got the logos off of here. A lot of scraping. A lot of scraping with a fine blade. Fine blade, little by little, but we made it, and we're sanding with 180 grit. 180 grit. I'm just trying to get it sanded enough to where when I paint it, it holds. So we're gonna do a primer and then a paint. Still gotta get that off. Gotta get this off. We're getting there. We got our wheels ready to go. We got our tires, and I didn't go tubeless. We threw tubes in here because the tubeless tires, they were just too much money. And I didn't want to get into all that. Could always upgrade down the road. But once I filled these bad boys up, it felt pretty good. Went with a little narrower tire in the front and a wider one in the back. Now we got ourselves paint time. This is our 2X primer right here. The epoxy primer. We went with gray so it would cover over all the black and any other dark spots. One can, it seemed to do the job. In hindsight, I probably should have bought another can, but what are you gonna do? We went with the Krylon Pink, nice and poppin'. I did learn that when you do apply this paint, you do need to sand it after. So we had to sand this paint in order to apply the 2K clear coat afterwards. So I used 2K for the primer, 2K for the clear coat, and the Krylon Gloss Hot Pink for the coat right there. I had to actually buy another can of this, so it was 2 cans to get the frame and the fork done the way I wanted it to look. I didn't want to miss any spots. So, and now I have some extra in case I ding it into something. Probably just mask it and tape it real quick. But it came out pretty damn good. Now it's time to put this thing together. So we had to get the fork going, put all the pieces back together with that, some washers and gaskets and whatnot. It took me a little while to figure that out. I had to kind of look through it. This was the bottom bracket that I was told to order through Chat GPT. So I ordered that. This thing fit perfectly, but like everything else, when I was filming, I felt like somebody was watching me. And I kind of hate when people are watching me. I don't care when you guys watch me, but I don't know. I just couldn't get it right at first, but I figured it out eventually. And I did need to get the bottom bracket tool to get that nice and tight and secure. Make sure you grease that up. This is where I was having issues. I was like second guessing myself. Left, right, left. But it worked out. We got it in. Got that thing going. After we installed this piece, we had to pop in the crank set. Yeah, see, still having problems. I mean, that's part of building a bike. You know, nothing's ever going to be perfect, and you will second guess yourself, but you'll get it. You'll definitely get it, just like I did. There's our bottom bracket tool right there to make that thing nice and tight. This tool fit right onto the socket wrench, so you just throw that thing on the socket wrench, tighten that up. You're supposed to really check torque and stuff like that. I mean, I've never done that. Make it tight, just don't overdo it. It's always my rule of thumb, you know. You don't want to go crazy OD with it, but you also want to make sure it's tight because it's something you're going to use every day, you know. Now time to install the crank set, grease that bad boy up, and slip it right into that hollow, I believe it's called a hollow tech bottom bracket. So this piece already comes attached on the right side, the pedaling side. You slip it right through, and then you have the other piece of the crank that attaches on the opposite end. Now, it attaches through like a cylinder type screw that you'll see in a minute, but you also use 2 Allen key type screws to really make it tight. Now, the screw that slips into the middle, I didn't even have the tool for that, and I was like, I don't feel like that's the piece right there. I don't feel like going out and buying this tool right now. That would have like held up the whole process. So I saw like what I could find that I had on me that would make it work, and sure enough, I ended up finding like a sheetrock saw that fit in the middle. I mean, maybe I'll get the tool, maybe I'll go out and get the tool just to have it. I did have to get a few other tools in the process of this just to have them, because when you're not using the correct tool, you could mess things up. But for the time being, I mean, it got the job done, so I'm not mad at it. Sometimes that's just what you got to do, you know. It is what it is. And there she is, the trusty old sheetrock saw. So I tightened it up, and then I tightened up the Allen keys. Got everything on there right. I had to make some adjustments. I also put Loctite on those Allen key screws, so it should hold up pretty well. I've used this type of bottom bracket before. Actually, crankset before. I actually prefer this type of crankset versus some other ones out there that I feel like they just get too loose over time. So I feel like this is a good way that this thing stays tight, especially when you're putting pressure. When you're putting pressure on the crank, especially if you're a big guy like me. And voila, just like that, we got ourselves a working bike. So this is a main component right here. As long as this works, we'll figure everything else out. So I picked up this chain, and this was my bad because I should have actually put this into Chat GPT like I did with the rest of the parts. But I just went out and bought a bicycle chain, not realizing that it wasn't going to be the right size. So I had to get rid of it and use a 332 chain, which I didn't realize till I took it outside and it started to skip. Here we are putting on the back wheel. I realized that my skewers were wrong. I had the front and the back. I was like, why won't this thing fit? Did I get the wrong size? Nope, just messed up. But once I figured that out, we were good to go. I got the wheels lined up. Once the wheels are lined up, you know, now we really have ourselves a bike. It's looking like a bike. So it felt good for all this to start coming together and to have it really just looking good. We spinning. So now it's time to put the fork together. This took me a little trial and error as well. I started recording myself doing it, and then I think I eventually went away from recording because I was getting the pieces wrong. The fork came with the bike, so this wasn't something I had to order. This was something that the previous rider was using, so I figured let me just use the same fork and same pieces. Just wanted to get everything set up properly. But there was a few like bearings and washers and stuff that I had to get right in order for this thing to function properly. So it took a little trial and error. I had to also look at some images online to check out how some of the other RS Carbon 2009 Cervelos looked like once they were completed. But we got it. And last but not least, well, this wasn't the last step, but it was at least the step to make it look like a bike. I throw on that front wheel, got that thing situated, threw the skewers on, got it connected, so at least it actually looked like a bike. So all in all, once you have all the pieces ready, and putting a bike together is not that crazy, especially when it's a single gear bike. It's not something that I feel like anyone can do it. Just gotta follow some instructions, maybe watch some YouTube videos like this one, and you'll have yourself a bike just like that. This is it. Done, completed. Not really. I still had to throw on the chain. The chain wasn't done yet. I had to cut it. I didn't put the pedals on. I did put the seat on. That's a 3D printed seat. We got gifted to us. Shout out the gifters. That's the handlebars that came with the bike. Next step was to hook up the brakes, which I didn't video. This bike is really light. It weighs in at about 17 pounds. There's our lovely chain and pedals. Had to add a chain tensioner when I took this thing outside initially. Well, actually, I couldn't take it outside. I needed a tensioner to get the chain on properly. So we added the tensioner, but I've made some adjustments since. I didn't take a video of me actually wrapping the handlebars. It was my first time doing it, and I was pretty nervous about it, but it came out wonderful. So I added the brakes, wrapped the handlebars, and here we are. The thing is fully done. The brakes were super easy to run. I thought it was going to be like a real pain to get the brakes underneath the handlebars and the whole situation with the wrap, but it's like super simple. I watched some YouTube videos about it, so if you have any questions, you could ask me. I could help, but there's a ton of YouTube videos that can help you do that. So this was when I first took it outside. We were ready to ride, and unfortunately, as I thought, there was going to be some hiccups. It was initially skipping, so I did have to make some adjustments in the back. Made some adjustments here with the chain tensioner, but even so, when I was hitting some really high inclines later in the day, I was still having some problems. So this is when I realized I needed a separate chain. So I got a newer chain. I adjusted my tensioner more, and I haven't taken it out again, but I'm ready to do it soon, and I think all is gonna be well. I think this thing's gonna be able to hit hills. I don't think I'm gonna have any more problems. If I do, I'll just ask Chat GPT. That should do it. This is it. Throw this in the pocket and go for a quick ride. Get some 360 action too, so you see the full POV. Let's do this. The real test is going to be one of these small hills up here. Now, I also haven't rode a road bike since I was probably like 8, and I didn't really ride one. It was just kind of to fuck around with in the park. So it's my first time with this style. So far, it feels kind of cool. Might have to do a little bit of a seat adjustment at some point. But other than that, I feel like legs are good. Seat might just have to go back a tad, which I could probably just do right now. But yeah, we're rocking. All I need now is the decals. That's the only thing I'm waiting on. Now, will this paint hold up in the mean streets of New York? Probably not. But it'll have some character, some New York stress added to it. But yeah, the all-day Killer Cam pink Range Rover inspired, built from the ground up thanks to the people. Shout out everyone who sent bike parts. Is a success. Let's fucking go. So, we finally have it. Successful bike build. Check that out. What a view, huh? Successful bike build, fully complete, fully riding through the streets. Handlebars wrapped by yours truly. Nice shine. Wonderful 3D printed seat. Great tires, great rims. Brakes. Single speed. And best part, light. Thanks for watching.